My name is Jazmin. I am from St. George, New Brunswick, and I am currently a respiratory therapist in Campbellton, New Brunswick. When I was first born, I was a typical healthy, normal baby, and at 6 weeks, I started having anaphylaxis to dairy, also a lot of breathing difficulty. So, although they can't necessarily diagnose severe asthma as a baby or a toddler, it was pretty clear and obvious. It was also discovered I had anaphylaxis to eggs and nuts. So they it was considered that I had the triad: asthma, allergies, eczema, but all of which being incredibly severe, top tier, very brittle. Starting at probably, 6 weeks old to 6 months old, having tons and tons of steroids, prednisone, for a little teeny tiny kid. And that has kind of been what my whole life has looked like. In grade 12, I was homeschooled most of the year because my immune system was so compromised due to all the prednisone that I would catch everything, end up in the ICU, end up on oxygen, aerosols, you name it. When it was determined that I was too severe of a case for New Brunswick at such a young age that I was, he decided it was then time to send me to Hamilton, Ontario. And it was determined there that not only did I have the very brittle asthma, but my lungs were a bit underdeveloped. So it was kind of like having smaller lungs for my body, along with the very restricted airways at all times. So there they determined that the best route for me would be bronchial thermoplasty. Made those 3 trips. They were very significant surgical procedures. I had, pneumos. I nearly coded on the table. They were very, very significant, and I had no idea if it was going to be worth it. But a few months after I had them, I realized I was starting to do a little bit better. And for about 4 or 5 years, my life was significantly turned around. I never thought I would really get to have a career, considering most of my life was in a hospital bed or homeschooled or whatnot. And I actually got to start thinking about possibly becoming a respiratory therapist. I know, ironically enough, why did I decide to do that? So I pursued respiratory therapy as a career, and my years throughout respiratory therapy, I was thriving. I, joined a women's soccer league. I started running. I lost 130 pounds. Life was really amazing. And I would never, ever trade that experience for anything in the entire world. It was incredible. I was in a place where I wanted to be better than the bad RTs I had had, and just as good as the great ones I had had. And I wanted to help people who had been in the same position as me, that person in the bed, terrified, struggling to breathe. I wanted to help those like people had helped me.